What is going on, everybody? It's Jason and Justin. We're here for another conversation with Russ Russo. How you doing today, buddy?
Hey guys, good to be here, Jason.
So you're a big Star Wars fan?
Yeah, love it. Thought I'd wear it for you guys today, so it's pretty cool.
Always appreciate it. Yeah.
Nice. What's your favorite movie?
Oh, it's got to be Return of the Jedi for me.
Nice.
I know a lot of people like a lot of different, but Return of the Jedi is mine.
I figured you'd say Empire because that's what most people say. My favorite Star Wars movie is actually Rogue One, but I respect the Return of the Jedi choice.
Is that Jake? Is Jake Lloyd part of that? Is
No.
Anakin? That's not that one, right?
No, that's the one
No.
with Felicity. No, shoot, I can't think of her name right now.
If you
But
remember Darth Vader just rocking through the ship at the end of the movie, it's that one. Him just like mulching through just everybody.
Yes.
It's that one.
Yeah.
they all die at the end.
Oh, spoilers. Sorry. Yeah.
I wonder you would love that one.
Yeah.
No, I remember.
That's
Right.
awesome.
Very
So let's talk Chaser a little bit. So can you tell us about is it considered a short run for 8 episodes? I know it's going to be hitting streaming, Amazon Prime, but like, isn't it eight?
Yeah, I mean, you would. I think you'd like 12 to 16, but
Yeah.
we got 8 for this one just to kind of start the first season off right, and hopefully people kind of dig it and they get into it, and we get 12 or 16 for the second.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of the 8 episodes. I feel like you get the story, it's nice, and it's more contained. And I kind of dig that form of story. 8 to 10 episodes is my sweet spot for television. But it sounds fascinating. Like, do you have moments in your life that you wish you could go back and edit? I know I do.
Oh my god, I feel like everybody does. If I could re-edit 24 hours of my life, I'd be like all day long. Just all day long, man. Just re-editing things you say, things you do. God, you just like, if we could have like a 30-second button, like kind of like the Oscars, where they're like,
Right.
let's not take it live. Let's just take it back 30 seconds. My God, I would do it all day long. I don't know. What about you guys?
Oh yeah. Absolutely.
Man.
I don't know if you guys remember the movie like Butterfly Effect, but I'm always concerned about that. It's like how if I change something now, like does that decision or conversation, did that impact something like in 2 weeks that I would not have already impacted?
Yeah.
When I was, you know what I mean? So I maybe you guys touch on that in your show. I don't know.
Exactly. It touches on that. That's, one person has said it was like Back to the Future meets Donnie Darko, but I think Butterfly Effect has a big impact on a movie like this, because any small decision can affect your future, and I even think about my own life, and I'm married now. I've got a wife of 15 years. I got a 2 and 3-year-old. But what if we hadn't met? I didn't want to go out that night.
Right.
I remember fighting my buddy Ben so hard that night, man. He had to like practically drag me out of my apartment that night. So, I mean, anything could have happened. This might not be my reality right now,
And for the show, you are the editor. You are the person controlling the ability to go back in time for a set 24-hour period, right? I'm making sure I understand that correctly.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think a lot about that, and great power comes great responsibility, and
Good point.
Yeah, and also, if the good can come from it, what about the bad? Even if you don't know it's bad, like you said, you may be editing because, hey, this bad thing that happened to me, I don't want that to, I didn't want that to happen, but it might affect things in the future that are really great or really amazing that will never happen now because you re-edited.
Deleting the bad thing could make something even worse happen in the future. So tell everybody, what's the show kind of about? Who's your character?
That's right. So it's Eddie Sebastian. He's a lowly jobbing sort of editor out of LA. He's kind of falls for this sort of B-movie actress who goes on a job, in Ohio, and he follows her there, to sort of edit her her project, and so it's sort of all about those escapades in love and desire and wanting to be someone more than you are, but that power, man, it can do all kinds of things.
So where was the show shot at? Was it shot in Ohio? That's where we're at in Ohio.
Yeah, we had some footage shot in LA, and then we shot in Ohio. The creator, Daniel Romer, is from Ohio. I guess he grew up in Mansfield, Ohio. So, we
The
shot
giant prison? Yeah.
Yeah. You know it. Oh, wait, which show am I on? My God. I visited there. That place is ghostly. Oh my.
Yeah.
The things that were happening in those prison. Oh.
Did you do the ghost tour? I did the ghost tour like maybe 2 months ago. It was wild. Like,
you did it recently, yeah.
Yeah.
When we shot like 3 years ago, but
Sure.
Yeah. I did that, and I was just like, hair standing up in the back of the neck, and like just trying to get out of the rooms sometimes. Orbs. I've got pictures with orbs. Like,
that's cool.
That's cool. I'm like, oh, what the? Yeah. So
that's
incredible place. I'm glad you got to go, man. Mansfield's kind of random, but for you to know that's pretty cool.
Yeah. For folks that aren't familiar, it's the Shawshank Redemption Prison. And it served as an actual prison too. But sorry to deviate from it, but it's very close to where we are located.
Yeah. Oh wow, you guys are over there too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
close.
No way. I loved being out there, man. I loved being out in Mansfield. We went up to Columbus a couple times. Cleveland.
That's where we are, Columbus. We're based in Columbus. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I got to visit, man. Columbus is the city. If you're gonna be in Ohio, that's the one.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Unless you've lived here for a long time, it's kind of boring. But
yeah, you know it. But I remember
I'm always curious. What was the movie or television show or what got you wanting to be an actor? Like, what was it?
Oh man, when you're 20 and you don't know what you're doing with your life, I ended up just kind of randomly walking into free acting classes if you'll perform in our stage plays. Like, that was the sign. It was like on white paper at a mall outlet inset theater right tucked into a mall. So in order to learn acting, I would have to act in their stage plays. But what I didn't know is the woman there, she had studied under Stella Adler, and she taught me group theater, and she put me in plays like, Clifford Odets Awake and Sing and Tennessee Williams Streetcar Named Desire. I'm like, I'm just learning acting, and I'm putting up like the great American plays, the classic plays. I don't think I was good in them, but it was just. But to be able to learn like that, I had no idea what I was walking into, but I fell in love with it. And, it's been 20 plus years now, just, that sort of thing, just
awesome.
That love for it. And now I full circle. I teach acting now in Red Bank, New Jersey.
Oh, nice.
But an hour outside of New York City. So now I have students that I'm taking in and teaching the craft too, and it's been pretty amazing.
Is it fun to?
Pretty awesome. We went there a few years ago. We went to the Jay and Silent Bob Secret Stash there. That's a pretty cool.
It's where I got that. I can't point that.
Man, yes, yeah. His shops are insane there, and I was just at a film festival because he opened up Smod Castle in Highlands, and I was just there. I think in December, for. He had a festival there, and we had a film in that festival, and got to take pictures with him, and that was pretty cool.
I'm going to ask a kind of a silly question, but have you ever watched the show Barry? And have you seen like the Henry Winkler like acting? Is that kind of the vibe you like? Is that what a class is like? Is that relating to like what a class is? Is that what?
No, not at all. But I have watched, and in fact, we've gone so meta with that we performed a couple scenes from Barry because I had to do it because what I'm teaching specifically is, and it's, this isn't always typical, but what I felt the need for is to teach film and TV acting technique. So most schools, they start the way I started, like, here's the stage and let's teach you. But I feel like if you can even separate the two, I feel like, I had to teach specifically film and TV technique. So that's what we do. We break down scenes that are for film or for television, and we go through script analysis and scene study with that, rather than it being like a stage play where sometimes the expository language can be a little bit, it's almost overwrought, and you can't, it's more difficult to act in that way.
Sure.
Yeah.
So you've been in shorts. You won an award for Best Actor in a short recently. You've done the television series that's coming soon, and then you've done some movies and so forth. Do you have a favorite medium?
So it's got to be, I mean, for me, it's got to be film and TV. Just that's why I teach it now, because as much as I love the stage and I always hope to get back on the stage, the way that I like to do stage is when it's like this, when it's conversational, when it's when the audience is a few feet from you, or you're maybe mic'd up, so that the smallest thing that we do or feel is seen, rather than it being like I'm in a Broadway musical and I'm 5,000 feet from that person in the back row. I don't really, that doesn't turn me on. I don't want something like that. So probably film and television, because the camera seems to be more of an extension of your soul. It seems to really read what's going on inside of you, and it's really about bringing out that inner life. So I would say that's film and television. That's the chosen medium.
Sure. Is the intimacy with the audience through that medium, or is the intimacy with like your castmates, and like kind of is that different?
Yeah, I don't separate the two. I love to to be able to have that kind of vulnerability and intimacy with, if I'm acting with someone. But I did a movie, for instance, a movie called An Act of War. It was about an Iraq veteran with PTSD, and most of the film I was acting alone. So you have to convey things to the audience only through that inner world. There's nobody else to act opposite. That's what I think we're all looking for connection, right? I mean, that's what we're doing this even right now. I mean, it's all, we want to connect with one another.
For sure.
Yeah,
absolutely. Do you have any fun stories from the set?
Oh my gosh, so many. But one thing I'll say, because I don't know if I can name the person, because you don't want to do that.
Yeah.
But on An Act of War, there was an actor who was a big TV star that was coming in for like 3 or 4 days, and I was really excited, because like he was like one of my favorite characters on like one of my favorite shows and this kind of thing, and he came in and didn't know his lines.
Brutal.
He came in and delivered a performance like he was reading off cue cards. And to this day, I still don't understand how an actor can come into a movie and take it so unseriously. And you'll see the final product of the movie, or the final, and you'll feel this and you'll feel that, but you'll notice that one performance never really got to where it needed to be. It stands out. It's so bad. So I don't know if that's a favorite.
It's memorable.
Said, and I want to put out like any bad juju, but I'm saying like, man, that kind of hurts, is what I'm saying.
So when something like that happens, like, is it just a matter of you just take what you can get and move on, because you can't spend all day doing the same scene over and over again? Right. How does that? Yeah.
Exactly how it works. I mean, you're doing it for like 8 hours, and sometimes you even only have it mapped out for like a 4-hour day, and you can see that the director's like, oh my God, what's going on? Like, this man doesn't know his lines. Like, what's, and they're spending 8 hours on it, and they're you can see them crossing out half days for the next day, and taking the schedule and just ripping up a page of it, and you just don't want things like that, man. So That was disappointing. Without naming names, that was disappointing.
Sure.
I gotta say, I'm a huge fan of J.J. Abrams as a producer, and you were on Revolution.
Yeah,
What was that experience like?
that was very cool. That was very cool. But let me tell you another story about the acting world. When I was hired to do that job, I was hired in a different role altogether. I mean, I had several pages of my lines memorized. Flew from LA to North Carolina, was sitting in the trailer with these lines, ready to go into makeup, and they're like, it's actually this character. And then they gave me 3 more pages, and it was a completely different character. And I'm like, oh my God, what do I do? Because I realized this guy's begging for his life. And then on the call sheet, I see Mark Pellegrino, and he had been in like Capote, and The Big Lebowski, and like one of my favorite actors that I never worked with him. And so I'm like, I have to be like, crying and begging for my life all of a sudden within an hour from now, having just gotten these lines. So, Revolution was an interesting experience for sure.
We've interviewed him before. I loved him.
You chatted with Mark. He's great.
Great.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. So you guys know Mark. Yeah.
No is a loose word, but yes, we talked with him.
Yeah, we met him once.
Okay.
But he's very nice.
That's awesome. Yeah. That's awesome. What kind of like movies and stuff did you watch growing up?
Oh my God, everything. God, I mean, you guys know, like the 80s movies are just. I don't know if that's gotten like deeply into my career, but like when you go to even the stuff like Less Than Zero and even the darker fare of Some Kind of Wonderful, and I see it seeping into Chaser, strangely enough. It's so strange how like when you watch these things that and they're sort of like in your childhood that they can sort of spill into your work. I never knew that until Chaser, really.
So, sticking with Chaser, I'm always curious. Oh, sorry, I got some feedback. But are there hard rules around the 24-hour thing, like thinking of Back to the Future or things like that? That there's probably a lot of like gotcha moments throughout your show. Like, did you have to really think through and be like, oh crap, this is way more than just 24 hours in terms of rules? So,
yeah, exactly. I don't want to give too much away, but absolutely, you have it right on point that some hijinks can ensue because of that hard, steadfast rule.
So when does it come out? It comes out April 12th on Amazon. Yeah. So that's when, and I think Voodoo, Fandango, and all the cable, the FiOS and the cable, will have it as well. So what was it like when you got that call that Amazon was picking it up?
Oh, that was so cool. I had a relationship with a company called Buffalo 8. I don't know if you guys know Buffalo 8. They're sort of a distribution arm that in the last 10 years they've kind of just picked up steam because they did the Jeffrey Dahmer tapes for Netflix, and and then they did Salvage with De Niro and Jack Huston from Boardwalk Empire, and so this was like they're just picking up so much steam. So to be able to get Chaser to them, they're the ones who facilitated that. Thereafter, I was really, really proud of that.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So where can everybody find you online?
So I'm actor Russ Russo, IG, TikTok. Find me there. I chat with anyone. I even followed you guys today. I was like, oh man, how am I not following?
Thank you.
Know what I mean? I'm like, I knew for sure I had you on Facebook, but I was like, no, I gotta have you guys on IG because I'm subscribed on YouTube. So
we appreciate it, man, so much. And you'll get a follow back because I'm going to be in touch because after the show comes out, I want to talk to you again. But again, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it, everybody. The links to everything will be down below, and we'll talk to you guys real soon.